Hey there, retro fans. This is Marty the One-Man Party here from Sleepy Eyed Films LLC, and this is the long overdue third episode of RetroSmash. And on this episode, we bring you this: the Action Max. Let's get to it. The Action Max is a little-known gaming console which was created by Worlds of Wonder in 1987. Worlds of Wonder had created some very popular toys in the 80s, including Teddy Ruxpin and Laser Tag, and also, believe it or not, distributed the Nintendo Entertainment System during its first run of systems. Unlike many console game systems that use cartridges as their gaming medium, the Action Max used VHS tapes, which required the player to own a VCR. There were other games at that time that used VHS, such as the Clue VCR Mystery Game and Play Action VCR Football. The difference between these games and the Action Max is that these VCR games were mainly board games that referred to the VHS tape once in a while, kind of like the modern-day Seen-It DVD games. The Action Max was different because it included a level of interactivity that was unseen in a home VHS game at the time. On the box, it claims to be the first real-action game system, and if you only count home consoles, they'd be right. But this technology had already been used in arcade machines that utilized the Laserdisc format. Games such as Dragon's Lair and Space Ace offered full-motion video capabilities with a small amount of interactivity. But owning one of these machines was an incredible expense, and it also took up a lot of space. So here comes the Action Max to bring it all home in a small package and at an affordable price. Let's check out how this thing works. The entire system consists of the console itself, a pair of headphones, a light gun, a light sensor which attaches to your TV screen, an audio cable, and one VHS game, Sonic Fury. On the console there are some knobs and switches. One switch turns the console on and off, one switches between player 1 and player 2, and the other chose between game type. As for the knobs, one controlled the volume, and the other was to calibrate the distance from the TV to the player. So let's pop the tape in and see what we get. Now this game console was created in 1987, and standard definition television was the norm. So if you hook this up to your high definition television, it just doesn't work. At least it doesn't work on my TV. So, drag out that old standard definition television, and get ready for action. Each tape starts out with a target practice mode to calibrate your system. There are two flashing circles on the screen, one in the bottom right corner where you put your sensor, and one in the center of the screen. The idea is to shoot at the flashing target in the center of the screen and make the proper adjustments for distance with the distance adjustment knob. When you hit a target, the red light lights up and you hear from the console. Once you've calibrated, you're ready to roll. Okay, first game, Sonic Fury. In this game you play as a fighter pilot on a training mission that has gone haywire. You first attack drone targets and try not to hit the other planes in your squadron. The video tosses in a line saying, "The good guys have two tailpipes." This is good advice as you don't want to hit the planes in your squadron. But the problem comes in when the targets that you aim at are placed right over the tailpipes of the planes. This can get plenty confusing when you've got 3 or more planes on the screen. Next up is Hydrosub 2021. This game is an undersea adventure where your captain, who sounds like a bad imitation of Shrek,
metallic crabs is as big as elephants,
informs you that you have to defend the Sea Dragon, which I assume is another ally's sub. You travel around in your sub shooting half-creature, half-machine enemies, and must avoid shooting your allies. The problem here, though, is that there's no indication of any allies anywhere, and if there are, the only way you'd know is if you hit one and your score decreased, which is another problem because the score is on the console. Unless you take your eyes off the TV screen, you can't check your score, so what do? Shoot 'em all and hope for the best. Another annoying thing about this game is that there's this green grid on the screen the whole time. It's kinda cool for a couple minutes, but it does get old fast. Alright, enough of this game, let's move on. Blue Thunder. This game is actually a spin-off from the 1983 movie of the same title, and there are scenes from the movie in it. Of all the Action Max games, this one has the best production values, and it's all due to the movie footage. Although I've never actually seen the 1983 film, I can assume that most, if not all, of the exterior footage of the helicopter and surrounding areas are directly from the film itself. This one wins most visually appealing game. Now for the rescue of Pops Ghostly. You go into a haunted house where you have to help Pops, apparently the good ghosts, get rid of the bad ghosts. As per usual, you need to avoid hitting Pops. And there really isn't much else going on in this game. Okay, 38 Ambush Alley. This is a police training simulator where, you guessed it, you shoot the bad guys and avoid shooting the good guys. This game I liked for the fun of going through the training course, sometimes just to hit the innocent bystanders. Overall, this console was a decent idea, but was lacking in execution, and maybe was just a little bit too ambitious for its time. There are notable downfalls. First of all, you can't die in the game, even though the technology at the time did allow for it. Anybody who remembers Captain Power and the Soldiers of the Future knows exactly what I'm talking about. Then there's the replay value. There's very little, if any, at all. The VHS tapes, they don't change at all, so the games don't change. And then there's the production values. With the exception of Blue Thunder, are not all that great, even for 1987. And Blue Thunder, it has its moments of weakness. So, there you have it. The Action Max. Simple, intriguing, and ultimately unimpressive. But, still a nice slice of nostalgia. This is Marty the One Man Party on RetroSmash. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.